Well, hey, good evening. Welcome back to my little gardening show. Happy Easter, everyone. Wanted to take you along as starting the hardening off process for the seed trays that have got started so far. Again, we're a little behind. I don't have that much started this year as far as plants that we're going to be transplanting. A lot of stuff I'm going to be direct sowing this year as far as the lettuces and stuff like that. But I do have 2 trays of cold weather plants, so I wanted to kind of take you guys along as I'm starting the hardening off process. So what is the hardening off process? Why are we doing it? What's that all about? Basically what we're trying to do is get these seedlings adjusted to outdoor conditions, adjusted to the sunlight, adjusted to the wind, adjusted to the temperatures. And so to do that, since they've been under artificial light up to this point on a heat mat where it's like 75 degrees, I wanted to bring these out and just expose them to a couple hours of daytime temperatures, sunlight, wind, stuff like that. It's really important when you're starting the hardening off process that you pick a day, ideally a cloudy day, where there's not a whole lot of wind, and it's not super cold. So this is like the perfect day because it's overcast. The wind, there's a gentle breeze. We don't want to overwhelm these seedlings. If I put this out in 30 mile per hour winds, it's going to tear everything up in the tray. Likewise, if I put it in direct sun, and let the tray sit out there all day long, the seedlings are going to develop sun scald where the leaves would bleach out because they don't have enough photoreceptors in the leaves to handle the sunlight. So the idea is we want to put them out here for a couple hours, let them get knocked around a little bit by the wind, let them get some of the indirect sunlight from that's filtered through the clouds, and just leave them out here. And basically I've left them out here since this morning because again, conditions are ideal. The other thing too, if it wasn't overcast, I would still put them outside, but I make sure that they were in the shade or partially shaded for the majority of the day. So like where they're at now on this wall, retainer wall here, they get sunlight for about 2 hours, and then the shadow of the house protects them the rest of the day from direct sunlight. So we want to give them time to adjust, and gradually increase the amount of time. It takes about a week to harden them off properly. That's if I was diligent and bringing them out here and everything, and gently, gradually exposing them to more and more direct sunlight till finally they would be out, kind of in a location where most of the day they're getting direct sun, expose the elements. It's amazing how quickly they will adapt to the outdoor conditions. But again, the key is to kind of take your time and not go too fast with these. So as you can see, it's just a little breeze kind of knocking them. It's not really doing a whole lot there. Cloudy outside. By the end of this week, they should be hardened off. Maybe going into the weekend if we're not getting a whole lot of sunlight. It depends on the conditions too, because I think they're calling for colder temperatures later this week, possibly snow and stuff like that. So conditions like that, or like where it's going to be super windy or it's going to be pouring down rain, I would have these trays inside because it would just wash the seedlings out. Because this is just loose potting mix. It's not actual soil that has like structure, right, that could absorb the rain and stuff like that. Snow, obviously we wouldn't want them to get covered in snow and frozen or anything like that. These are cooler weather crops like cabbages, kale, broccoli, stuff like that, kohlrabi. But we still don't want them to be exposed to a lot of like really cold temperatures. Bud, there you are. Look at you, bud. Hey, look at your seedlings, bud. Yeah.
They're growing.
Yeah, they're kind of growing. I've been kind of babying them a little bit.
Because they're
Why
so
do you
smaller.
think these are smaller than what's in the tray here?
Because these have more roots is the main thing, and a little bigger leaves.
Yeah, and they've got a lot more
Like this
space.
It's probably your best one because they have the biggest roots and the biggest leaves.
Yeah, but it's a deeper tray too. This has only got about an inch of potting mix in there. That's one of the reasons why it's so small. They're small. They're not.
Because they have to bend their roots.
They can't root down like these are. So anyway, those are just some tips on hardening off seedlings. Again, in about a week, they should be ready to go. In about 2 weeks or so, we'll be 2 to 3 weeks. Really depends on the weather and how things are going. We'll be planting out of Dad's house. So between now and then, we'll be going out there some to start taking a look, marking off our beds where we want to plant things. That'll be a whole. There's a lot of work to do out there. But in the meantime, we'll baby these along, harden them off as the conditions are, decent enough to do that, and they'll continue to grow. We may even transplant them a little bit, like transplant them one more time if they stay in the trays much longer. Again, these seed trays are good for about 4 or 6 weeks max. Past that, stuff starts getting root bound. It's just not. They're not meant for really growing them big. They're good for starting seeds and getting the seedlings going, but not real long-term growing and stuff. So anyway, I guess that's it for now. Until next time, happy gardening. Bye.